Good evening, USFFL. We do have live action for you tonight as the Houston Texans at 6-2 are on the road in Cincinnati to take on the 4-4 Cincinnati Bengals. Let's get that game rolling, people. All right, welcome back. It is Wednesday night, and let's get out to the stadium and see what's going on. Houston Texans on the road here. Whoop. That is definitely not our game number. Forgot that I did another cut and paste. 1 second. All right, we should be good to go here. Second down and 10. Looks like the Bengals got the ball first. And here's a pitch out, Joe Mixon. Going around the left side. Mixon goes to his card, and that's good news for him. Short gain. And Joe across midfield and inside the opposing 40-yard line. Finally tackled at the 37 by Steven Nelson. Pickup of 18 for Mixon, and it's 1st and 10 at the Houston 37. From right here out to the 39-yard line, you got a 2 through 7 range for Evan McPherson. Off tackle Mixon again, and this time just a yard. Got it on his card on wrong once again. Just didn't get the roll. 2nd and 9 now. 3 wide receivers, 1 halfback out there. And here's a run up the middle, Mixon, and that's going to be a 6-yard pickup. Guard Alex Kappa throws a key block, and it sets up a 3rd down and 3 at the Houston 30. Right now you're in 2 through 10 range. 3 yards away from 2 through 7 range should you lose yardage. Blocking back formation here from the Bengals. Defense looks pass. It's off tackle. Mixon. Nobody in zone. Defensive card we go. And that's going to be just 2 yards. And that's going to be short. It's 4th and 1 at the 28. The Bengals are going to go for it. Mixon couldn't get it at the end. Couldn't spring the block. And we've got short yardage here. 4th and 1 at the 28. Blocking back set. It's Mixon in the deep eye. Play action screen. Left side. Mixon out of the backfield. 2 men in zone. The Texans doubled up the flats, but it goes to the Cincinnati play card, and Burrow completes it. Mixon ahead for a pickup of 12. 1st down yardage into the red zone. 1st and 10 Bengals at the 16. So an early 4th down conversion. And the opening drive of the game continues. Here comes the 9th play of the drive. Pitch out left side. Mixon going around the edge. And nothing doing. Jonathan Grenard brings him to the ground. Mixon got the wrong column again, but another bad roll. It's 2nd down and 10. Still in a simple run set. Receivers on the outside are Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd. Burrow back to pass. Here comes a screen. Left side. Actually, right side. Sorry, this is going to Mixon. And Joe Mixon's got the catch and a good run down inside the 10 and finally tackled at the 5-yard line. It is 1st and goal. So 2 big catches on the drive for Joe Mixon. 1st and goal at the 5. Full house formation comes out here for Cincinnati. Safety up close, showing blitz. Here comes the sneak to the quarterback, Burrow. And Joe's going to power through, and he keeps going behind the line and hits a touchdown. Alex Kappa for the 2nd time on the drive. The guard springs a big block and just kept driving, and Burrow rode him into the end zone. The extra point is good. An offsides penalty on that PAT is against Houston. They'll probably take that one on the kickoff. And indeed they do. So the extra point's good, and with 9:54 to go, 1st quarter, Bengals draw first blood. An 11-play, 75-yard drive, and a powerful sneak behind guard Alex Cava by Joe Burrow for a 5-yard touchdown. 7-0. Texans with their first possession now. After a touchback, they begin at the 25. The Texans are coached by Rudy Gobin. The Bengals are coached by Jeff Winlet. First down, pitch out. Devin Singletary going around the edge, and he's brought down quickly. Edge Trey Hendrickson got him. Just a gain of 1. 2nd and 9. Singletary had the wrong column on his card, but couldn't get it. 2 tight ends set here. And now a screen out of the backfield. It's Damian Pierce this time. And Pierce is going to get a receiver result and cannot make the catch. That first went to the 0-man column on the defensive card. So a nice break there for Cincinnati. It's 3rd and 9. So right away on the opening drive for Houston, they are behind the sticks and needing a 3rd down conversion. 3-2-6 dime here from the Bengals. 3 wide receivers split out for the Texans. Back to pass. Stroud looking, and he's targeting Tank Dell. He's got the catch, but a penalty on the play, and that's going to be brought back. It was a 1st down reception. Stroud hit Tank Dell, but holding is the call. Back him up. And the Texans now staring at a 3rd and 19 at their own 16. Critical holding penalty on 3rd and 9. So now a full spread formation, 4 wide receivers. Back to pass. Looking deep with that ball, and it's incomplete. Stroud was looking for Nico Collins. But the Bengals and Coach Winlet kept 2 men in the zone and got the defensive card result. So 4th and 19, and the Texans will quickly punt from their own 16. Cameron Johnston with a 45-yard boot. Charlie Jones settles underneath it at his own 39 and a short return. Just 6 yards, but good field position for Cincinnati. Already up 7-0. And now a defensive stop. They begin 1st and 10 at their own 45. Blocking back set here. Back to pass Burrow. He looks short, and he is targeting Tyler Boyd on the play. Defense did indeed guess pass here. Blitz does not get home. Burrow was flushed. A little dump off. This one's going to Tanner Hudson. Yak opportunity for him, and Hudson brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Blake Cashman brings him down for a loss of 3. 2nd down and 13. That pass intended for Tyler Boyd, who is receiver number 2 tonight as T. Higgins is out with overusage. That is my presumption. Didn't see him on the injury report, but I saw him on the injury report in-game as we started, so I'd say he probably needed rest. Bengals 2nd and 13, 3 wide receivers on the field. Mixon the halfback. Burrow back to pass again, looking short, right back to Tyler Boyd, and he's got the catch. And he's brought down near the marker, but a penalty on the play, and they are indeed backing up. 5-yard penalty against Cincinnati, so they'll replay 2nd down. It is 2nd and 18 now. Texans out of the nickel this time. And it looks like we had another penalty. Offensive line got a little motion in their ocean again, and it's 5 yards back, 2nd and 23. So full spread formation now for Cincinnati. Burrow's out of the shotgun. Here comes a flat pass. Linebacker stayed home. This one goes to Trenton Irwin, and he's got the catch and pretty good yardage. It's going to be 8 yards. 6 on the white die. Sprung that one to the 0-man column. It's 3rd and 15 for Cincinnati at their own 40. The Texans don't really have any blitzing linebackers, but their defensive line can cook. Their blitz ratings are 9, 8, 7, and 12-star 4. Of course, only 3 of them on the field here with a deep dime on 3rd and 15. All 4 wide receivers out there for Cincinnati. And we're still waiting on the offensive play call here from Coach Winlet. And there it is. Back to pass, looking short and brought down. Sack on the play. Will Anderson, one of those aforementioned defensive linemen for Houston, and they get through. Big sack. 4th and 23 from the 32, and since he has to punt, and whoa, there goes a boomer. Brad Robbins boots that one for 62 yards. Carries all the way back to the 6-yard line. And a short return there of 8 yards. 54-yard net for Cincinnati at the right time. Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. In AFC North action last night, the Baltimore Ravens at home pulled off the season sweep on the Cleveland Browns with a 30-9 victory. There's a 3-yard run by Devin Singletary at 2nd and 7. Damian Pierce now in the backfield. 3 wide receivers split out. So the Bengals, if they win this game, they will be tied at 5-4 for first place with the Cleveland Browns, who lost last night. The Ravens are 5-5. So either the Bengals will be tied for first place or 1 game back tonight. 2nd and 7. Here's a quick slant over the middle. Nobody in zone. Dalton Schultz, the target. And that's good news for Joe Burrow, or I'm sorry, for C.J. Stroud, who sets up a nice yak opportunity that was, frankly, kind of wasted. Gain of 4. All 4 of that came from Stroud. It sets up 3rd and 3. An injury on the play goes to Michael Dieter. And on 3rd and 3, pitch out Singletary, and he's got himself a first down. Gain of 3, just enough to get it 1st and 10 at the 24. The end couldn't make the block. There's Michael Dieter. He's the center. He is a 5 pass block. He can be replaced by a 3, it looks like. So 1st and 10 at the 24. Stroud, another quick slant over the middle, empty zone once again, and Dalton Schultz has got it, but brought down quickly. Gain of just 3. 2nd and 7. Houston from their own 27. They'll split out 3 wide receivers. Robert Woods in the slot. Cincy in the nickel. Stroud back to pass. Looking short. Going for Tank Dell, and that's going to be incomplete. Oh, and another big injury on the play. That's B.J. Hill. Left tackle 4. He blitzes 5. Actually, I was confusing him with DJ Reader, but still one of the starting defensive tackles. So 3rd and 7 now for the Texans. 3 wide receivers split out. Devin Singletary, the tailback. Let's see what Coach Gobin has in mind here. Back to pass. Stroud looking short, going to Noah Brown. He is doubled. Looks like the linebacker's on him, and it's going to be a force to dump him off. So it's a dump-off pass instead, and that's good yardage there. 23-yard catch and run on the play by Robert Woods. 1st down yardage out at midfield. Texans all the way out to the 50 on that big 3rd down conversion. They're now 2 for 3 on 3rd downs. And another injury. This one to the Cincinnati defense. It's Dax Hill. That's a starting free safety. He is a 0. But B.J. Hill and Dax Hill injured on this drive. 1st and 10 now, Texans, and here's a run. Off tackle goes to Damian Pierce, and Pierce is going to get a good 6 yards. 6 on the white die, beat the aforementioned DJ Reader, which isn't easy to do, requires that 6. 2nd and 4. Now into a blocking back set. Bengals show a 4-2-5. So as I've often said, a little eye candy for that middle zone. No middle linebacker here. They do fill that zone, but it's a run. Pitch out. Left side, Devin Singletary, and he's going to get 3 yards. That's a yard short of the 1st down. It's 3rd and 1. That run, by the way, was on snake eyes. That should have been 20 yards, but a nice run call by the defense. Credit to Coach Wendlet. And that forces this 3rd and short. So 3rd and 1. Texans at the 41-yard line of Cincinnati. Outside of field goal range. Blocking back set, we've got Devin Singletary, our tailback. The key is on the quarterback, but it's flat pass going to the right side. Nico Collins, and Stroud gets a receiver result, and Collins cannot pull that in on the wrong column, no less. Only 2 incompletions. He missed it, and it's 4th and 1 at the Texans' 41, and I got to think they're going for it. You can't get the field goal, and indeed, the offense stays on the field. 2 tight ends for Houston. Devin Singletary, the lone setback. Stroud under center. Defense out of a 4-3. The key is on the running back. Flat pass again. Dalton Schultz got the catch and a 1st down. It's 8 yards. C.J. Stroud went to his card on wrong and converts. And the Texans are now in field goal range for the first time tonight. 1st and 10 at the Cincy 33. They'll keep 3 wide receivers on the field here. Since he shows nickel. Automatic field goal range kicks in at the 22. About 11 yards away. Back to pass, Stroud looking short, and that's going to be picked off. Cam Taylor-Britt's got the interception after a 16-yard pass play. So the game's first turnover. Let's see about the return, and Cam Taylor-Britt. Dice send him nowhere. But it's a turnover nonetheless, and the Bengals will take over at their own 17-yard line. C.J. Stroud with a big pick. So the Bengals are still up 7-0 with 1:30 left here in the first quarter. First down run, Mixon. He goes left side, and he's got only 3 yards. Orlando Brown Jr. couldn't make the run block. 2nd and 7. Back to pass, looking deep. Going to Jamar Chase. He is doubled. Linebackers on him. Couple of men. Gets past the blitz, but he is flushed. Forced to dump it off. Burrow's going to dump it off here to Tanner Hudson. And a receiver result, Hudson with good yardage with a 10-yard completion and a first down. Bengals out to the 30, and we have yet another injury, and it's a big one. Will Anderson. He had the sack earlier for the Texans, and he's going to be out for 2 more weeks. And that's our first multi-game injury, so that's a big one. Will Anderson is a left end 5 with a 9 blitz rating. And he is replaced by a 0-5. Big injury for the Texans. More on that in a little bit as we look at their schedule. Bengals 1st and 10 at their own 30. It's a pitch out. Mixon going for the edge, and he's going to get 5. 2nd down and 5 Bengals. Bengals split out 3 wide receivers. Texans in a nickel. There's a sneak by Burrow, and he's going to get a couple only. So 3rd down and 3 at the 37. Into the second quarter here. Cincinnati still leads 7-0. Big 3rd and 3, blocking back set. Mixon's the tailback. Cincinnati 0 for 2 on the night on 3rd downs. They're going to try to get it here off tackle run, and Joe Mixon plows forward for the first down, a gain of 5. And wouldn't you know it, they finally convert on 3rd down when the defense did key successfully on Mixon. Didn't have a linebacker in the zone, though, and that made the difference. Move the sticks. Bengals are 1st and 10 at their 42. Texans look run, but it's pass. Flat pass, Tanner Hudson. And Hudson, receiver result, he's got the catch and run and another good pickup, 13 yards. That's first down in Texans territory at the 45. And Joe Burrow looking good here. So far in the first half, 8 for 9, 71 yards. Bengals in a blocking back set here. Here's a pitch out, run to the right. Mixon going around the edge, and let's see what we got. Mixon goes to his card on wrong and pops himself a short gain. Mixon with a good 15-yard pickup, finally brought down at the 30-yard line by Jimmy Ward. The Bengals are now in field goal range. 2 through 10 from right there with a slight variable risk. Coach Jeff Winlett, of course, thinking more. Safety up close for the Texans, showing blitz. Jalen Petrie. That's out of the 4-3. Here's a flat pass, left side, one man in zone. And on the defensive card, receiver result, and Tanner Hudson's got himself another good catch and run. 11 yards as Hudson continues to pound the flats for Cincinnati. 5 catches, 36 yards for him. And the Bengals now in the red zone at the 19-yard line. 3 wide receivers, 1 halfback. Travion Williams is the tailback. Texans in a 4-2-5 off tackle. Williams, and he's going to get himself a gain of 5. On the defensive card. 2nd and 5 at the 14. Houston Texans defense rated average to good against the runs. Average to poor against the pass. Now Chase Brown, the tailback for Cincinnati. They split out 3 wide receivers again. Trenton Irwin in the slot. And Burrow back to pass. Defense was looking run. Short pass to Irwin. And he's incomplete. Couldn't find it on the 4-man column of the defensive card. And we've got a 3rd down and 5. Cincinnati at the 14. Everything on the table here. Bengals are going to operate out of a 4 wide receiver formation. Burrow out of the shotgun. Mixon the tailback. Nickel defense. Here's a looking pass. 2 men in zone. Excellent call by Coach Rudy Gobin on defense. But it does go to the quarterback's card. Receiver result and incomplete. Joe Burrow was trying for Trenton Irwin. Couldn't get him. And it's 4th down and 5 from the 14. Here comes Evan McPherson on for a 31-yarder. And it's right through. So with just under 11 minutes left in the second quarter, the Bengals have extended now to a 10-0 lead at home on the Houston Texans. Would be a big win for Cincy if they could walk away from this. Put them in first place tie, as we mentioned earlier. But in addition to that, that's a big tie break against what is shaping up to and very probable to be one of the AFC contenders for playoff spots down the stretch. Texans now with possession again at their own 25. Here's a 1st down. Dump pass left side. Dalton Schultz, tight end busy. And he's got another catch here for 7 yards. That's 4 catches on the day for the Houston tight end. Now 2nd and 3 at the 32. Texans come out in a blocking back set now. These 2 teams don't rotate running backs a lot. Although I think James Cook gets quite a bit of activity. Let's see here. No, Devin Singletary is carded for 216 carries. Bengals come out in a 4-2-5. The outside linebackers blitz back to pass. Stroud looks deep, goes to the defensive card. Receiver is the result, and Tank Dell cannot bring it in. Very close, as Tank Dell got a 6 on his card. 7 and 8 were both completions, including a long gain. So close, no cigar, and the Texans now face a 3rd and 3 at their own 32. And they send out 2 tight ends, Schultz and Jordan. Bengals stay in a 4-2-5. You can still call run from that set. It is indeed a run. They guess pass, though. Pitch out, left side, Devin Singletary. To the defensive card he goes, and he is brought down just a yard short. Defensive end Trey Hendrickson makes the play, and they come up a yard short. 4th and 1 from the 34, and the Texans will have to punt. And not a good punt there by Cameron Johnson. Just a 36-yarder. Charlie Jones settles underneath it at the 30. And he'll fair catch it right there. And so with 9 minutes left in the first half, and the Bengals up 10-0 on the Texans, they will begin again from their own 30-yard line. Been tough sledding for the Texans. They've had 3 possessions. 2 of them were shut down quickly, and the only one they had a drive on ended with an interception. First down pitch out Joe Mixon, and he's got 7 yards around the edge. On his own card, 2nd and 3. Mixon now 10 carries, 62 yards. Cincinnati having a lot of success offensively, outgaining Houston here 148-63 so far. Mixon takes a breather. In comes Brown at tailback. Here's a pitch out to Chase Brown. They keyed him, and that's going to be no gain. So Brown going nowhere on his card, and it's 3rd down and 3 for Cincinnati. So now the Texans with an opportunity defensively to get off the field here. Let's do a formation check here with Coach Wendlandt. What is he like on 3rd and 3? He's going to go 3 wide receivers. Mixon behind Burrow. Texans come out in a 4-2-5. And I would certainly be thinking flat pass here. Been a quiet day for Jamar Chase. I'm not sure he's made a reception. 3rd and 3 run up the middle. Mixon going to try to get it with his feet, and he's got the run. 1st down yardage. Joe Mixon goes for 6 out to the 43-yard line as he beat the defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins. Both tackles are rated 0 at run stuffing and cost the Texans there. So the Bengals get a new set of downs. 1st and 10 at the 43. Burrow back to pass. Quick in over the middle to Tanner Hudson yet again, and that's caught. 5-yard pickup for Hudson. 6th catch of the game for him, and it's 2nd and 5. Bengals at their own 48. Chase Brown stays in at tailback here. And here's a pitch out to Brown, and Chase Brown around the left side. He is going to get a 1st down. Nice run, 9-yard pickup. And Tanner Hudson made the key block that sprung for the 1st down. Hudson having a good day, both with his hands and on blocks. So the Bengals cross midfield. It's 1st and 10 at the Texans' 43-yard line. 6:36 to go before halftime now. Burrow back to pass. Looking short. This one is indeed going to Jamar Chase. And does he get it off? No, he is flushed and forced to dump it. And in the flat, it's going to go to the other receiver, Tyler Boyd. And Boyd is going to be incomplete. That was a receiver result that Boyd could not convert. 2nd and 10. Tyler Boyd still looking for his 1st catch. The aforementioned Jamar Chase does have 1 catch for 15 yards. And on 2nd and 10, back to pass. Burrow short, right back to Chase, incomplete. Once again, couldn't get him. It's 3rd and 10, Bengals at their own 43. So after starting 9 out of 10, Burrow just 1 for his last 5. Texans sit on a deep dime here. At the 43-yard line, you're still 4 yards away from that fringe field goal range for Evan McPherson. Roughly 50-50 odds if you get there. So a gain of like 5 yards could set up another field goal attempt. Back to pass. Burrow looks short. It's going to Trenton Irwin. And Burrow goes to his car, but forced to scramble, runs. And he's got good space and first down yardage as he crosses the 30-yard line and is finally brought down at the 28 by Derek Stingley. Burrow goes for 15. Move the sticks. It's 1st and 10. Cincy at the 28. That's kind of a backbreaker as the clock runs down to 5:24 in the first half here on the Texans defense. The Texans have Jalen Petrie, the safety up close, showing blitz again here. Texans look run. It's a pass. Screen goes to Chase Brown, and he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage, no less. Nice play, Christian Harris. Tackle for loss, and that's going to set up a 2nd and 14. Back at the 32, so that puts you back on the fringe of the deeper field goal range, too. Nice play there defensively. Chase Brown stays in at tailback here. 3 wide receivers on the field. Texans bring out the nickel. And again, Burrow back to pass, looks short, and that's going to be incomplete. Pass was intended for Jamar Chase. There is a penalty, and it's offsides against the defense. So a break for the Bengals. They'll get 5 yards back, as well as the down. It's 2nd and 9, and now at the Houston 27. So right back within that 2-10 field goal range. Bengals have 3 wide receivers on the field again. You're 4.5 minutes away from halftime. Both teams, all 3 timeouts. And on 2nd and 9, there's an off-tackle run. Joe Mixon. And on the defensive car, Mixon is going to get himself, well, it's irrelevant as they stop the play. It's a penalty. Defense was offsides. They'll take the 5 yards. 2nd and 4. We mentioned earlier the injury to Will Anderson, the great defensive end who's going to miss a couple of games now for the Texans. For our reference, those 2 games will be against, and wouldn't you know, it's hard to see behind this. We're going to have to move it. It's all right. So he'll be missed against the Cardinals and Jaguars. So against that division leader that he's trying to catch, that's definitely not good. Good news if you're Coach Joe Golden tonight. 2nd down and 4, flat pass. This goes to Tyler Boyd. Caught the defense looking run, but another penalty. And it's against the Bengals here. Back him up. It's holding. And it's 2nd and 14, right back at the 32 on the edge of field goal range. And once again, the Bengals split out 3 wide receivers. Here's a flat pass left side. This goes to Jamar Chase. I just realized I'm blocking that card image. We had a receiver result and a 7-yard pickup for Jamar Chase. That's just his 2nd catch of the first half. And it sets up a 3rd down and 7 at the Houston 25. 3:18 to go. 4 wide receivers splitting out, so full spread formation. Burrow is out of the shotgun. He's got Mixon beside him. Rudy Goblin's got the Texans in the nickel here. Looking pass over the middle goes to Mixon, the tailback. Texans kept a man in zone. And Burrow on his card sets up a yak opportunity. Mixon, good with that. And that's a big gainer inside the 10 and down to the 9-yard line. A pickup of 16 yards on the play. Mixon with 3 catches, all deadly. Now 39 yards receiving. And it's 1st and goal, Cincinnati. And they'll stay in the spread formation. 1st and goal at the 9 here. 4-2-5, nickel blitz shown here by the Texans. There's an off-tackle run, and Mixon good for just 3 yards. And it's 2nd and goal at the 6. Clock keeps turning all the way down to 2:06. This looks like it'll be the final play before the 2-minute warning. Bengals have marched off almost 7 minutes of time of possession on this drive. 15 plays, 5 first downs, 64 yards. Trying to put the exclamation point on a good drive. Once again, spread formation. Safety up close, shows blitz again here for the Texans. And there's the run. Crossed him up, off tackle. Joe Mixon, it goes to the defensive card. It asks for the defensive tackle, and Mixon beats him again, and that's going to be a touchdown. 6-yard touchdown run, Joe Mixon. And as we reach the 2-minute warning and Evan McPherson drills another extra point, the Cincinnati Bengals at home have taken a 17-0 lead on the 6-2 Houston Texans. And the Texans, after a touchback, will take over at their own 25. They're down 17 points. They've got 2 minutes and all 3 timeouts. Texans have been outgained so far, 211 to 63, and 15 first downs to 3. So it's been a domination so far. Let's see what Rudy Gobin has up his sleeve. It's an explosively carded team. Back to pass, looking short. This one goes to Tank Dell, and he's got the catch, and he's got room into the secondary. Up the sidelines and across midfield, finally brought down at the 40-yard line of Cincinnati. So right on cue, Stroud hits Tank Dell for 35 and nearly doubles his yardage here in the first half. 1st and 10, minute 37 counting on the clock. Texans, 2 tight ends. Defense looks past, but it's run. Pitch out, Devin Singletary around the edge. And Devin Singletary is going to get himself a gain of 4 yards. That one on the defensive card. It's 2nd down and 6. Bengals defensively are rated average to poor, both against the pass and against the run. Second down and 6. Here's a pitch out. Singletary going around the edge. Defense looking pass. We go to the defensive card, and Singletary's got himself 5 yards. Not quite enough for a first down, though. It's going to be 3rd and 1 at the Cincy 31. Let's see if anybody wants to stop the clock. It looks like the Texans are running up to the line of scrimmage. They're going to stay in the hurry-up offense. So that means we still got 3 wide receivers, 1 halfback. 3rd down and 1. 3-2-6 dime. And back to pass is Stroud. That's going to Noah Brown, and that pass is incomplete. Rolled his interception split roll. Boy, I think if you could have that one back, That was a real fast play call. Probably already had his mind made up on short, but you see that defense go dime, and it's 3rd and 1. Man, call that line buck and get that first down. Instead, we got the incomplete pass. It's 4th and 1 now, and the Texans will go for it. They are in field goal range for a 2 through 8 and 12, but they want the tutty. So on 4th and 1, they're going to go. 2 tight ends. Here comes a run up the middle. Devin Singletary, and on his own card, he's got the first down. Plows ahead for 5. Singletary not doing too well this game. 8 carries, just 26 yards as the Texans burn their first timeout. That'll stop the clock with 52 seconds left. 1st and 10. Texans at the 26. It's important the Texans finish this drive with points on the board. 3 wide receivers split out. Back to pass. Stroud is brought down. Sack on the play. Trey Hendrickson got him. A loss of 5. And that was the star rating coming through for Hendrickson. And so 2nd and 15 for the Texans now. Back at the 31. Texans took a timeout there, by the way. They have 1 left. Clock stopped at 45 seconds. 3-2-6 time here from the Bengals. 3 wide receivers are split out. Back to pass is Stroud. Looking short. This one goes to Noah Brown, and it is no good. Stroud missed it on his card, and it's 3rd and 15. Clock now down to 37 seconds. That play brought about Trey Hendrickson's. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it did not. I'm still looking at the last time Hendrickson's rating came up on that screen. Sorry. But a big 3rd and 15 here. Wonder if he might have CJ take a shot deep. He's got 4 wide receivers split out. 3-2-6 dime, back to pass, looking deep. This one goes to Tank Dell. He is double teamed and incomplete. So indeed, the Texans did go with a deep ball, but it was sniffed out as well by Cincinnati's defense. Nice call there, Coach Windlet. 4th and 15, and from the 31-yard line, here comes a field goal attempt. 2 through 8 and 12. Kaimi Fairbairn, the kick is up. And it is good. And the Texans are finally on the board just before halftime. With 22 seconds remaining, it is now 17-3 in favor of Cincinnati. Touchback on the ensuing kick, and let's see if the Bengals are interested in trying to plow forward with 22 seconds and 3 timeouts. Well, they are splitting out 4 wide receivers. Burrow's standing in a shotgun, so I think there's your answer. Texans are in the nickel. Yet here's a first down run right at the middle. Joe Mixon. And Mixon's going to get a short gain on his card. And Joe goes ahead for 17 yards. That was on the right column. As with 4 wide receivers and a 1 on the white die, it took it to the right column. And he got double sixes, a short gain, and then a 17-yard gain. It's 1st and 10 out to the 42. He might consider calling a timeout here. Trying to get into field goal range again. And indeed, that's exactly what he does. So the Bengals have 2 timeouts left and 15 seconds. They're at their own 42. Burrow in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers on the field. The snap, he's back to pass. Looking short, this one goes to Andre Yoshevitz and incomplete. Burrow missed it on his card. It's 2nd and 10, now just 8 seconds left. That fringe field goal range, if you want it for Cincy, starts at the 39. You could add a few yards variable, but ultimately you need, at least 16 or more yards here. Maybe a flat pass, hoping to get that on a defensive zero-man column. Let's see what we get here. 3-2-6 dime from the defense. 4 wides are out there for Burrow. Back to pass. Burrow looks deep. Going to Trenton Irwin. Double team is there. And that pass is going to be picked off. Picked off at the 27-yard line by Steven Nelson. Let's see what the Texans have as far as interception returns. Clock is basically sitting on nothing. And speaking of nothing, that's exactly where that return goes. And the Texans, after the turnover, take over at their 27, 1 second left. And that should do it for the first half. And Rudy Gobin, coach brings out the full house formation. And a draw up the middle to Andrew Beck for a loss of a yard. That should do it. There are no flags, and we've reached halftime here in Cincinnati where the Bengals at home just gave up a field goal but are still holding on to a 2-touchdown lead, 17-3 against the Houston Texans. Coaches are going to take a short break here at halftime, and we will as well. Stay tuned. We will be right back for the second half. And we are underway in the second half after a few pleasantries from the coaches. And perhaps a hydration break. Texans get the ball first. After a touchback, they begin at their own 25-yard line. Not a great first half from the Texans offense. They did get that 35-yard completion near the end. Helped set up a field goal, but just 106 yards of offense and only 5 first downs. See what the coach is thinking second half. He begins with a run play. Singletary right up the middle, and he's good for 4. That one on the defensive card. Singletary out. Damian Pierce in at tailback now. 2 tight ends. Pierce, 145 carded carries, but just a 2.9 average. So a little bit of a anchor around your neck if you're the coach of that team, as I imagine Rudy Gobin would attest. And a quick pass, button hook over the middle to Pierce, and he's got it. Nice catch, 9-yard gain out of the backfield. So he may not be the best runner, but he makes the play there and moves the sticks. Quick first down from the Texans. And they're 1st and 10 at their own 38. And Singletary back into the offense. Bengals out of their base, showing a 4-2-5. Stroud back to pass. Looking short, goes for his tight end, incomplete. Dalton Schultz couldn't bring it in there. Stroud missed it on his card. 2nd and 10. And now Dameon Pierce back in the game. 3 wide receivers. Pierce is a B-rated yak, so he's definitely a threat. And here's a screen going to him again. This time he's doubled. Good call by the defense, but it goes to the defensive card, and Pierce has got himself a nice catch and run. First down yardage across midfield. 16 yards to the 46-yard line of Cincinnati. So the Texans offense moving through. Dameon Pierce here on this drive to start the second half. He goes back to the bench. In comes Devin Singletary. And then right to Singletary. Off tackle left side. Defense looking pass. And Singletary goes to his card, and he's got himself a good roll. Singletary, a short gain. 17 yards inside the 30 and tackled at the 29 by Jordan Battle. And the Texans, who struggled to move the ball through the entire first half, moving it quickly here on the opening drive of the second half. 5 plays, 46 yards. Here comes the 6th play of the drive. Run right at the middle, and Devin Singletary powers forward for 5. Singletary now 11 carries, 52 yards. He'll take a breather. Dameon Pierce back in. The Bengals go to a 4-2-5, and here comes a screen to Pierce again. Going to the left side, and it's a receiver result. Dameon Pierce has got the catch, but he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Nice play there, Jermaine Pratt, and it's 3rd and 6. Texans at the Cincy 25 from right here. That's a 2 to 8 and 12 field goal. The 2 through 10 range is just ahead of them, but trailing by 14. I imagine anything 3 yards and in, he'll go for this. Everybody's got a different line of demarcation. I haven't seen enough of Rudy Gobin football to really know for sure. He splits out 3 wide receivers here. Bengals in a nickel. Here's a flat pass. Nico Collins, and incomplete. Stroud couldn't hit it on his card, and an injury on the play, and that's to the other receiver, Tank Dell. And Dell's going to go to the bench. He'll be available in overtime, so it won't carry over. 4th and 6. And here comes a 42-yard field goal attempt. Kaimi Fairbairn. 2 through 8 and 12, and he just slips it in. It is good. Rolled the 8, and it is 17-6, an 11-point lead for Cincinnati. So they didn't get the touchdown, but give the Bengals some credit. Trailing by 14, they come out and score on the opening drive of the second half. And after a touchback, Cincinnati will take over at their 25. Time for Coach Wendlett's response. Let's see about his halftime adjustments. Flat pass going to the right side. Tyler Boyd defense was crash and run on the short yardage, and it is nonetheless incomplete. That die went to the defensive card, and it got the interception split roll. So a nice break there for the Texans defense at 2nd and 10. Bengals now on a 3 wide receiver, 1 halfback set. Tyler Boyd in the slot. Flat pass right side. Mixon out of the backfield's got the catch, but brought down pretty quick there by Blake Cashman. Modest gain of 4 yards is going to set up a 3rd down and 6. And with that, the Bengals will go full spread formation. 4 wide receivers. Burrow out of the shotgun. Nickel here by the Texans. Flat pass left side, nobody in zone, and it's going to be well, I'm confused because they're giving it as one man in zone. Does he beat the linebacker? No, it's going to be an incomplete pass. So they counted it as a linebacker in zone. I guess it was a double team, so he must have moved into the zone. So 4th and 6, my apologies, and they're punting since he is from their 29. And Brad Robbins has got himself a 43-yard punt. Just a 5-yard return, and the Texans will take over at their own 33. So a decent start to the second half as the Texans put points up on the opening drive and then get the defensive stop pretty quickly on the Cincinnati offense. Rudy Gobin comes out with 3 wide receivers. 1 halfback, Singletary, and there's an off tackle. Singletary, they're running on first down, and Singletary goes to the defensive card. He's got a nice pickup. Devin Singletary gets across the 40 and keeps on going. That is a nice pickup for Devin Singletary across midfield to the 43-yard line of Cincinnati. 24-yard gain on the play. Got the short gain on the defensive card with the box. And nobody was home behind that zone, so huge run for Singletary. Back to pass, looking deep this time, and incomplete. C.J. Stroud was looking at Nico Collins. But Stroud couldn't hit his number at 2nd down and 10. Still 3 wide receivers on the field, but Singletary is subbed out. It's Dameon Pierce again at tailback. On 2nd and 10, the Bengals will sit in the nickel. Flat pass left side. That's the only zone with a linebacker in it, and that's the difference. 1 man in zone, defensive card, nothing there. It's incomplete. So the decision to keep linebacker Jermaine Pratt home pays off there big for the Bengals, and it's 3rd down and 10 for the Texans. They're at the Cincy 43. You need the 37 for field goal range, so they've got to convert here. Or they need to get a lot closer. 3 wide receivers. Singletary back in the game as the tailback. Stroud's out of the shotgun. Cincy in a deep dime. If I remember right, I believe Stroud is a must-run threat. I'm not sure. I'm going to look now. Back to pass, Stroud, and looking short. This goes to Noah Brown and incomplete. He was doubled by Nick Scott, the linebacker, and that's the difference, I think. Either way, it's incomplete. And indeed, that was the difference. So 4th and 10 at the 43 of Cincinnati, and they have to punt. And they cough and corner it, and it's angling, but it's close. And it goes through the end zone. So couldn't quite get it, and the Bengals are now 1st and 10 at their 20. We are halfway through the 3rd quarter, 7.5 minutes left. Bengals are on top, 17-6. And on first down, they're back to pass. Looking deep, going to Jamar Chase, they are, and that pass is going to be incomplete. Defender was the result, and Derek Stingley, the 6th-rated corner, knocked that away. So 2nd and 10, Cincy. Back to pass, and we're going deep again, right back to Jamar Chase. Right back to the defensive card, and this time Chase wins the battle. And a personal foul for unsportsmanlike conduct. I would guess Derek Stingley didn't particularly like the way that ball was brought down. But Burrow gets a 30-yard pass completion to Chase and a 15-yard penalty on top of that. And just like that, the Bengals are in field goal range. 1st and 10 at Houston's 35. Out of a base run set, here comes a flat pass left side. Joe Mixon. And here's a yak opportunity that Burrow sets up for him, and It's going to be a net of 8 yards. All that work is done by Mixon for sure. It's 2nd down and 2 at the 27. So if the Texans can try to hold them to a field goal attempt here and keep this within a 2-score game, that'll make their life a lot easier as we quickly march toward the 4th quarter with 6:36 to go here in the 3rd. Bengals at a base run set here. The key is on Mixon, but it's a sneak to Burrow. On the defensive card up the middle, and Burrow's got himself a 1st down at the 21-yard line. Clock now winding down to 6 minutes left in the 3rd. Bengals are now in that pretty automatic field goal range. Coach Jeff Wendlandt hoping for more. Here comes the off-tackle run on 1st down. Joe Mixon around the right tackle, and he's got good yardage, and he's into the red zone and through. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Joe Mixon to the house. Snake eyes on the defensive card, reads plus 33, and Mixon puts it in for the 22-yard touchdown run. Looks like we have a flag on the extra point. It's against the Texans. They'll take that on the kick, it looks like. But the score is now 24-6, a lead of 18 by the Bengals. Previously cited as a 22-yard touchdown run. It's actually a 21-yard touchdown run for Joe Mixon as he goes over 100 yards on the game, 15 carries, 115, and a couple of tutties. As the Bengals offense continues to dominate this game. Here's an off-tackle, Devin Singletary, and that's going to be good for 5 yards. Actually, no, he is brought down. DJ Reader brings him down at the line of scrimmage. I thought that guard was going to make the block, but he did not. So 2nd down and 10. Mentioned the Bengals getting it done offensively here. They've outgained Houston 297 to 180. Back to pass, and it's a flat pass going to Dalton Schultz, and he's got the catch and a good run, 12-yard pickup. Move the sticks for the Texans. 5th catch of the game for Schultz. Now at their 37. With a new set of downs. 3 wide receivers. Mechie nestles into the slot. Stroud just 10 of 24 in this game. Bunch of double teams on the secondary, but it's an off tackle. Singletary's got it, and he's going to get 5 yards as he beats the defensive tackle. DJ Reader couldn't beat the defensive die. Only because his defensive rating had been degraded in the nickel. It's 2nd and 5. Singletary goes out. Dameon Pierce back in at tailback. 3 wide receivers on the field here for the Texans. Bengals in the nickel. Stroud back to pass. Looking short. This one's going to Nico Collins. He is doubled by the linebacker. Stroud avoids the blitz, but he's going to be forced to dump it off in the flat, and that's going to be a catch on a nice one. Good run after that. 13 yards and a 1st down. The aforementioned Jonathan Mechie on the 0-man column. And the Texans are now 1st and 10 at the 45 of Cincinnati. Off tackle here, Dameon Pierce, and he's going to get himself a 6-yard gain. As for the third time on this drive, the Texans are picking on the tackle ratings for the Bengals. So 2nd and 4, still 3 wide receivers on the field here. Again, the nickel will be interesting to see if the Texans want to run again. And this time we're back to pass. Stroud surveys the field looking for his tight end, Dalton Schultz. And Stroud on his card has got his man. First down catch. 12-yard pickup for Dalton Schultz. Stroud on the money. And the Texans are now 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. Third first down of the drive. And Pierce stays on the field at tailback. 3 wide receivers. Here comes a hitch across the middle. Empty zone, and Nico Collins has got the catch and a 9-yard pickup. Excellent call there by Coach Rudy Gobin, finding that empty zone. It's 2nd and 1. Texans now in the red zone. 2 tight end set. Pierce your tailback. Still in the third quarter, Texans desperately need this touchdown. Of course, even if they get a field goal, we're back to a 2-score game, it looks like. That would make it 15 anyway. There's a flat pass, goes to Nico Collins, and 6 on the wide die, gives him the blessing, a 10-yard pickup, and 1st and goal on the 0-man column of the defensive card. Nico Collins with his 2nd catch of the game and the 2nd in as many plays. Texans 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. And Stroud now finally up to 50% passing, 14 of 28, 160, and a pick. Looking to balance the scales here with a tutty. 2 tight ends set again. Pierce is out. It's Singletary, your tailback. Bengals D operates out of a 4-2-5. There's a first down run, pitch out around the edge, and Singletary is brought down. Nice tackle by the linebacker, Jermaine Pratt. Pratt got him after just a 1-yard gain. It's 2nd and goal at the 7. Texans desperately trying to cut into an 18-point lead. Late third quarter. Out of a run set here on 2nd and goal. And it's back to pass for Stroud. Looks short to Noah Brown, and that pass is going to be caught over the head of 2 men. He was successfully double-teamed. Stroud beat the blitz of Trey Hendrickson and then beat the double team by the Cincy linebacker. And the Texans finally hit pay dirt with a touchdown. The extra point is up, and Fairbairn blubs it. Kaimi Fairbairn rolls an 11 and shanks the extra point. And what should be an 11-point deficit stays at 12. The Bengals are up 24-12. But a nice drive for Houston. 10 plays, 75 yards, 5 first downs, and a touchdown. And after a touchback, the Bengals will take over at their own 25-yard line. Here's a first down flare, left side, 2 men in zone, and picked off, intercepted by the Texans. Blake Cashman, the linebackers got it. So a big defensive turnover on the first play of the drive. Let's see what Cashman does with it. Here's the return. And Cashman goes forward 4 yards and drops it. It's loose. Who's got it? Pandemonium near the red zone of Cincinnati. And it is recovered by the Texans. So an interception by Blake Cashman. Credit to Rudy Gobin. Coach put 2 linebackers into one of the flats. Happened to be the flat was targeted and hit the 3 on the defensive card. Right move, right time, big turnover. And the Texans will begin just outside the red zone, 1st and 10 at the Bengals 23. First down run play, Dameon Pierce, and he plows forward for 5. Into the red zone as we reach the end of the third quarter here in Cincinnati. The Bengals led 17-3 at halftime. They are currently up 24-12. But the Texans, after a big turnover, are knocking on the door again. 2nd and 5 at the 18-yard line. Pierce is the tailback. Back to pass. Quick slant over the middle of the tight end, Dalton Schultz, and it's a yak opportunity for him. Stroud sets him up, and a nice catch and run. Schultz sheds a tackler and gets down inside the 10 and brought down at the 7. Gain of 11 yards on the play for Dalton Schultz, and it's 1st and goal, Texans. And they split out 3 wide receivers. Stroud back to pass. Looks short. This one's going to Nico Collins on the defensive card. Receiver result comes up. And Nico Collins has got the catch in the back of the end zone for a Texans touchdown. A touchdown that cuts it to 6, 24-18. Two touchdown passes within about a minute and a half of each other by C.J. Stroud. The extra point this time by Fairbairn is up and good. And that's going to make it a 5-point game. Cincinnati Bengals are still on top, 24-19 of the Houston Texans. Exactly 14:06 remains in the game. Bengals, 5-point lead, take over possession at their own 25. So not too long ago, they were on the verge of running away with it, but now, well, they're in a fourth quarter fight with a 6-2 contender. There's a flat pass to Joe Mixon, and that's going to be a yak opportunity, and Mixon, a good roll from him. Big gainer out across the 40 and finally tackled at the 44-yard line. 19 yards on the catch and run, Burrow to Mixon, who now has 6 catches and 70 yards on the game to go with his 115 yards on the ground. Mixon doing work today against Houston. The defense keys Mixon. Here comes a hitch over the middle to Jamar Chase. And Jamar's got the catch and a nice gain of 8. Brought down at the Houston 48 by Denzel Perriman. It's 2nd and 2. Bengals now to a base run set, blocking back formation. It's Tanner Hudson in front of Mixon. He's been busy in the flats. And already sided for a nice block, too. The key is on Mixon again, and once again we have another hitch. Right back to Jamar Chase, and we've got a penalty on the play, and Chase had room. That was going to be a nice pickup, but motion against the offense, back up the Bengals at 2nd and 7. Cincy now back on their own side of the field at the 47-yard line. They'll stay in that base run set again here. Here comes a pitch out. Mixon are going to run against the left side of the defense, and he's going to get just 3 yards. Jonathan Grenard makes the play, and that's going to make it 3rd down and 4 right at midfield. So right on the 50, a big 3rd and 4 coming up for Burrow. and Coach Jeff Wendlandt. Bengals are 50% on the day, 4 of 8 on third downs. Houston's just 2 of 9. Bengals split out 3 wide receivers, Mixon the tailback. Burrow stays under center. It's a 4-2-5 defense here by the Texans. Here comes a flat pass, 2-man in zone, another good call by the defense, but it goes to the quarterback card, and Burrow comes through. Burrow gets +5 on 3rd and 4, and the Bengals have moved the sticks. 1st and 10 now at the Houston 45. That was, again, another play, just like the prior interception, where Coach Rudy Gobin dropped an extra linebacker into the exact correct flat pass zone. 1st down, back to pass. Burrow is short, and he's got his man. Tyler Boyd with an 11-yard catch. Brought down by Jimmy Ward at the Houston 34-yard line. 12 minutes left in this one. Bengals now in field goal range. A field goal would make it an 8-point game. So if the Bengals want to be up by a safe 2 possessions, they're going to need to get to the end zone. Here's a flat pass left side, and that's going to be caught by Chase, 5 yards. And, boy, guess what? Coach Rudy Gobin once again doubled up 1 flat, and it was the correct flat. The first time was an interception. Each of the last 2 times it went to the quarterback card, and Burrow came through with +5. This time it sets up a 2nd and 5 at the Houston 29. Again, out of a blocking back set. Base 4-3 by the Texans. And the Texans crash run, but here comes a flat pass. Tanner Hudson, he's had a big game. And so I'm expecting a catch. Let's see what we got. Burrow on his car, gets a receiver result. And Tanner Hudson, the catch and run for a 1st down into the red zone of the Texans and tackled at the 18-yard line. Jalen Petrie on the tackle. But the Bengals are into the Texans' red zone for the 4th time today. They have 2 touchdowns and a field goal on their first 3 trips. Blocking back formation. Safety no longer needed deep. Petrie is up close, showing blitz here for Rudy Gobin and the Texans. Clock shows 11:24. Defense calls run. It is. Pitch out. Mixon on his card. He's going to lose 3. Good call, Coach Gobin. On 1st down. Technically knocks the Bengals out of the red zone. It's 2nd and 13 now at the 21. Might need to keep that safety home this time, and indeed the safety stays back. He's not showing blitz this time anyway. Bengals have 3 wide receivers on the field for this 2nd and 13. Off tackle Mixon, left side. And Mixon on his card is brought down immediately. Sheldon Rankins with a big tackle as Mixon rolls a 5 on his card. And it's 3rd and 13 at the 21. So good news for Cincinnati is that's a 2 through 10 field goal range with no variable risk. But the bad news is you're now 3rd and 13. Spread formation, 4 wide receivers, Burrow in a shotgun. The deep 3-2-6 dime here from the Texans. Defense looks past, but it's run. Up the middle, Joe Mixon, and he's brought down right away. Mixon on his card. Lost a yard, and it's 4th and 14. And from the 22-yard line, here comes the 39-yard field goal attempt. McPherson is up and good. And that makes it an 8-point lead for Cincinnati. 27-19. The Bengals are on top with 9:36 to go in this game. And after a touchback, the Texans will now begin at their own 25-yard line. Last two drives have been touchdowns for the Texans. A 10-play drive and a 3-play drive. Back to pass on first down, and he's looking short but tackled, brought down, sack on the play. DJ Reader gets through right from the nose. Loss of 8, and it's 2nd and 18 for the Texans. So a big sack on the first play of this drive. Flat pass goes to Noah Brown, and it's going to be no good, incomplete, as the Bengals kept the linebacker home, which, by the way, saved a 16-yard gain, and it's 3rd and 18 now at their own 17. 8:42 on the clock. Both teams all 3 timeouts. Texans don't want to be too aggressive here, I don't think. I don't know if you want to risk the turnover. Maybe just take a low-risk, high-reward play here that might get you the first down. I'm thinking a flat. I'm thinking anything but a long pass. Back to pass, looks short. This one's going to Robert Woods, and he's got the catch. 13 yards, not enough for a first down. That was dangerous, however. Woods was doubled on that play. And for the second time of the game, he hit Woods while double-teamed. But it's 4th and 5 at their 30, and the Texans punt. A 48-yard punt all the way back to the 22-yard line. Charlie Jones settles underneath it there, and he'll fair catch it. And so the Bengals still have an 8-point lead, 27-19. Just over 8 minutes left in this game. 8:06, and the Bengals take over possession at their own 22. Texans have closed into that offensive yardage gap. Bengals have outgained them 355 to 283. Here's a looking pass. Tanner Hudson, and he's got it, but just a short gain. And wipe it away because the offense is going to take the penalty instead as the Texans came across early. So 1st and 5, Bengals. And there's nothing Coach Jeff Winlett would like more than a nice, long 17-play drive to drain the rest of the clock here. First and 5. Here comes a sneak. Joe Burrow ahead for just 2. So 2nd down and 3. Probably a luxury you can afford when you get a 1st and 5. Bengals still in a base run set here. Here's an off-tackle. Mixon, he is key, but no linebacker in zone. It goes to the right column, and Mixon loses a yard. So 3rd down and 4. Nice call there, Coach Rudy Gobin. And again, Bengals 3rd and 4. Last we looked, they were 4 of 8. They're now 5 of 10, so still 50% on 3rd downs for Cincinnati. And 4 yards away, the Bengals will bring out 3 wide receivers. Mixon's still the tailback behind Burrow, who's under center. Texans showing a 4-2-5 defense here. 3rd and 4, big play at the Cincy 28 with 6:36 on the game clock. These third down opportunities on this drive for the Bengals are critical for both teams. Here's a pitch out to Mixon. The defense called run, and they got Mixon for a big loss. He lost 7, but they got a face mask on the defense. Penalty, personal foul on the tackle. Oh, disaster for the Texans on that one, as a 7-yard loss is wiped away. And that'll put the Bengals out to their own 36, 1st down and 10. Wow, critical penalty in this game. Houston with 7 penalties, 60 yards. Bengals have 5 and 30. Here's a 1st down screen. It goes to Mixon. He's got the catch, and he's going to be brought down after a 5-yard gain. Tackle on the play by linebacker Christian Harris. Cincinnati at their own 41. About 20 yards away from field goal range. Here's a quick end to Tanner Hudson, 2-minute zone, and it's going to be caught by Hudson. And a gain of 7. Once again, Coach Gobin picks the right flat to double up. Really a nice display from him on that in the second half. But this time, again, it goes to Burrow's card. Receiver result, and Tanner Hudson continues his big night. 8 catches now, 59 yards. And the Bengals are 1st and 10 at their own 48. Back to pass. Burrow looks short and incomplete. And an opportunity there as they caught the defense keying on Mixon. And they were going for Jamar Chase, but Burrow couldn't hit him. 2nd and 10. Cincinnati just on their side of the field at the 48-yard line. Houston trails by 8. There's 5 minutes and 6 seconds remaining. They desperately need to get the ball back before the Bengals can score again. 2nd and 10. Here's a pitch out. Joe Mixon. Defense looking pass. He's going to try to get it on the ground. Dice take us to the defensive card, and Mixon goes up against the defensive end and beats him, but it's a fumble. It's on the ground. It's loose. Let's see who's got it. And it looks like the Bengals have recovered it. Still waiting for confirmation from the officials. And it is picked up. He tried to advance it and fumbled it again. And the Bengals eventually recover it. A yard short of a 1st down. Wow, so 3rd and 1 at the 43-yard line of Houston. 4:30 to go in the game. Houston trails by 8. This is a critical play. Field goal range, the fringe of it anyway, is just 4 yards ahead. You got to make the run call here defensively. Let's see. Blocking back set. Mixon's the tailback. Base 4-3 from the defense. Off tackle to Mixon. He's keyed and a linebacker in zone, and he's going to lose that yard. Indeed, Coach Gobin makes the call. Stuffs them, and it's 4th and 2 at the Houston 44. So the Bengals could go for it. They're out of field goal range. They can coffin corner it. And it looks like that's what they're going to do. On comes the punter. So a great stop on 3rd and 1 from the Texans defense. Steely-eyed call there from Coach Gobin. Keeps him in the game. And here comes a punt toward the corner, and a pretty good one as it's out of bounds at the 9 by Brad Robbins. So let's set it up for you. The Texans trail in Cincinnati, 27-19. They're down by 8. Texans have the ball. 1st and 10 at their own 9. They're 81. Let me refresh. They are 91 yards away. 3:36 to go. They have 3 timeouts. First down, back to pass is Stroud. He looks short, goes to Noah Brown, and that pass is incomplete. And right away, flirting with disaster, Stroud on that offensive four-man column hit an interception split roll. And that was no small risk either, 2 through 6. So 2nd and 10 now at the 9. You do have to work quickly. 3:18, 3 timeouts. But I don't think every play has to be short pass, long pass. Especially with the defense sitting in a deep dime. Here's a screen, goes to Singletary. All the wideouts were doubled. So a great call, nobody in zone. 0-man result, and that play is going to be just a 3-yard reception as Devin Singletary rolls about the worst roll he has other than the incompletion. Third down and 7 at the 12. Clock with exactly 3 minutes to go in this game. Big 3rd and 7. 3 wide receivers split out for the Texans. Stroud out of the shotgun. Deep 3-2-6 dime. Shown by the Bengals. Back to pass. Looking to Dalton Schultz again. And Schultz got himself another big catch. And a 3rd down conversion as Stroud is over 200 yards passing now. 14-yard connection. Stroud to Dalton Schultz. Texans now 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. Yes, after that, they're still only at their own 26. Clock runs down to 2:24. Spread formation, 4 wide receivers. Back to pass as Stroud looks short, and that is going to be incomplete as Stroud hits his interception split roll on his card. 2nd and 10. And with 2:06 showing on the clock, this should be the last play before the 2-minute warning. Texans have that spread formation out again. And on 2nd and 10, they cross you up. It's a run up the middle. Devin Singletary right up the middle on the defensive card. And Devin gets just 4. And that will get us to the 2-minute warning here in Cincinnati. Bengals are at home up 8 points, 27-19. Texans have the ball facing a big 3rd down. It's 3rd and 6 at their own 30. Right here at the 2-minute warning. Texans haven't had the same kind of success on 3rd downs today. They are 3 of 11. 3rd and 6, they're going to need this one. Keep your eye on Dalton Schultz. He's been targeted a lot in these situations. Stroud out of the shotgun. 3 wide receivers in the aforementioned tight end. Back to pass. Stroud looks short, and it is no good and complete. Coach Wendlandt doubling up on the receiver, Nico Collins, effectively. And that makes it 4th and 6 at their own 30. And the Texans are compelled to go for it. And this is pretty much it. They've got to have this. 3 wide receivers split out. Fans are on their feet. Lots of noise here in Cincy. From the shotgun. Back to pass, looking short. Receivers doubled again by a linebacker. It's Noah Brown. And let's see what we get here from Stroud. 4th and 6, and he's flushed. We got a dump pass. This one's going to Dalton Schultz on 4th and 6. And Schultz gets a receiver opportunity, and he's got himself another reception and a clutch catch. 9 yards on 4th and 6. Bailing out the offense with a big play. Dalton Schultz now 9 catches, 80 yards in this game as the Texans stay alive. He also gets out of bounds, stops the clock at 1:45. Texans now 1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line. Again, a field goal does them no good. They got to go all the way. Back to pass. Looking deep. This one's going to Nico Collins, and it is no good, incomplete. Nico was again double-teamed. And the Bengals are double-teaming so many receivers with such regularity, the counter would be to start picking them off in the flats. Maybe expecting a look in here. 3-2-6, deep dime. Shows that open middle zone, and that's what we've got. 3 wide receivers here on 2nd and 10. Back to pass. Stroud looking short again. His receiver is doubled, and it is incomplete. That was intended for Robert Woods on a roll that was good on right or wrong, but not on double-teamed. And now you're a little late to look at that flat pass counter because it's 3rd down and 10. Down to 90 seconds left in the game. Texans still 61 yards away from the touchdown they need. And on 3rd and 10, Stroud back to pass, looking short. This one goes to John Mechie, and that pass is no good and complete. Mechie went to the defensive card. Got a receiver opportunity, but couldn't capitalize. 4th and 10. And so once again, Texans in desperation time on 4th and 10. They converted earlier on a dump off to Dalton Schultz. Back to pass, looking short. This one's going to the tailback, Devin Singletary. To the defensive card we go, and no good as receivers the result. Singletary could not make the catch. Probably the right call as all the receivers were doubled. But the Texans didn't get the break, and the Cincinnati Bengals will take over with an 8-point lead and 1:15 to go. Texans do have 3 timeouts, but this looks like the Bengals' game to win. Full house formation comes out. Here's a 1st down run. Chase Brown goes for 6 yards. That on the defensive card, it's 2nd and 4. And the Texans do indeed take a timeout. They can stop it 3 times. Bengals are at the Texans 33, so if they can continue to keep them behind that closer field goal range, maybe get a miss. The key is on Mixon. Here's a button hook. And they were thinking the same thing in Cincinnati, but just a 3-yard completion. So not enough, as Mixon on his wrong column got just 3 yards. So not his best roll. 3rd and 1 at the Houston 30. 1st down here will end it. Houston did take their 2nd timeout. And here's a sneak to Burrow, and that's going to be good for a 1st down. Move the sticks, and that's going to be the end of it as Burrow will be taking a knee. And he takes a 2nd knee there. As we wait for the game to go final here, it is final. In Cincinnati, the Bengals at home get it done. They take a 17-3 halftime lead, and fight off a fourth quarter comeback from the Texans and emerge victorious 27-19 as the Bengals improved to 5-4 and are now tied for first place in the AFC North with the Cleveland Browns at 5-4. The Browns, who lost last night to the Ravens right here on the USFFL broadcast network. Coaches congratulating themselves, or I should say each other. Let's get that right. The Bengals did indeed maintain their offensive production edge, 379-313 in this game. Total of 3 fumbles, but always recovered by the fumbling team. Burrow had the 2 picks. Stroud had just 1. Time of possession, 7 minutes in favor of the Bengals as they walk away with an impressive 27-19 victory. Coach Windlet says he may try to get on, so we'll stay close and look into that. Again, as I always tell people, and I want to make sure everybody knows this, and you'll hear me repeat it again, I'm always going to invite people on to the broadcast, but everybody needs to know nobody is required. No one looks bad if they decide not to come on. I just don't want it to be about that at all. I want it to be about a welcome place if people want to pop in. I want to encourage people to do it, but I don't want anybody doing it that doesn't want to, no matter the reason. Coach is still doing a little bit of a debrief. Let's take a look at what Jamar Chase did. He got a slow start in this game. I know eventually he got his second catch. Looks like he ends the game 5 catches, 65. So not too bad. Devin Singletary ended up 16 carries, 86 yards. Add in the 17 from Pierce, and the Texans went over 100 yards rushing in the game. Actually had a better per carry average, but just 48% passing the ball, though. Not the best. Loss for the Texans drops them to 6-3, which on the surface doesn't seem that bad, but Texans are trailing the 7-1 Jaguars in the division, as you see right here. So they'll fall to 6-3. That's now going to be a game and a half behind a Jaguars team that they already lost to. They do have the Jaguars coming up. Going to be looking for that split in a couple of weeks. They'll be without Will Anderson, defensive end, in that game as he was hurt tonight. There are a couple more games on the schedule tonight. We will not be broadcasting them. But as you can see, we are underway. Tennessee Titans on a 4-game winning streak after starting 0-4 are at Tampa Bay. And the New Orleans Saints are at Minnesota. Both games are underway. We're not broadcasting tonight, but happy to call attention to it. And I think we will look to wrap things up here because it doesn't look like our coach is showing up. We'll give him maybe another 30 seconds, but we'll start the wrap up here. The Cincinnati Bengals hold on at home with a 27-19 victory over the Houston Texans, puts them into a first-place tie and also gives them what may end up being an important tiebreak in the AFC playoff action somewhere down the road. Congratulations goes out to Jeff Wendlet on the victory. And that's going to do it, I think, tonight. We will wrap things up. We'll see if there's another broadcast coming up this week, but either way, you know we're coming again as the USFFL marches on here in Week 10.